This is Anand Girdharadas, and welcome to The Ink. Today we're talking to author and policy expert Heather McGhee. In her influential book, The Sum of Us, McGhee argues against the idea that progress for some must come at the expense of others. It's the opposite, she maintains, famously recounting how, when the racist response to desegregation drained public pools across America, everyone, including white families, lost out. In today's conversation, we talk to McGhee about how to argue against zero-sum politics, why reparations would provide seed capital for the future and benefit everyone, why Trump is the only political leader in America currently able to make meaning for people, and how Democrats can learn to reach voters more deeply and durably. Your book made such a compelling case that addressing racism is not a zero-sum game. Fighting racism benefits white people also. So New York, as you know, just launched its reparations commission. And I was just thinking that reparations is almost like the iconic issue where white Americans perceive it as absolutely zero-sum. Probably of all the remedies out there, it's like most zero-sum perceived. How do you see and kind of situate the growing movement toward reparations, exploring reparations, in the context of zero-sum thinking and non-zero-sum thinking on race?
Reparations are not a zero-sum. I think of reparations as seed capital for the nation that we're becoming. And the reason is we've gone so far in this country on the backs of the descendants of a stolen people who've contributed unbelievable amounts to this country's prosperity and ingenuity and culture and intellectual life. And we've done so with Black people facing every possible constraint and barrier. It is so important for economic reasons for this community, which is an underinvested asset in this country, to have the kind of wealth cushion that turns people's dreams and aspirations into reality. It's so important for our democracy, for everyone to know that they live in a society where when government harms you, they make it right. And there's no sense that, time has passed. And so the 7 members of the city council that voted to take your family's land are no longer with us, and therefore you will continue to suffer the consequences of that for time immemorial, and there will be no apology and there will be no repair. That's not the kind of society we want to live in. It's not the kind of society that we created for Japanese Americans, that was created for Jewish Americans, right? That is not the kind of society that upholds human rights and equal protection under the law. I also think that our country is a can-do country, and there has been a tremendous shift in public will and recognition that the mythology we've been sold about American innocence was a lie. And I spend most of my time, multiple days a week, on the road, traveling across the country, talking to audiences about these issues. And they're in central Pennsylvania and central Missouri and many, many red and purple communities. And there is a recognition that we need to do better. But this country is a country of people who want an app for fixing something, right? It's like we've created, as a racial justice movement, more awareness and agreement that harms have been done. And Americans want to say, okay, so what do we do now? How do we fix it? How do we keep moving towards the future? And so I didn't originally write a ton about reparations in the book. In my career as an economic policy advocate, I focused a lot on the racial wealth gap, but the Overton window was not yet open on reparations. But it's clear to me now from the past 3 years that I've spent on the road that there is a grassroots movement for reparations, and even beyond that, a curiosity about the possibility of reparations, largely in white communities, that is about wanting to overcome and wanting to be the country that lives up to the myth that we were sold.
Thank you for listening to this preview of the Ink podcast. To hear the full conversation and to read and listen to more interviews with some of the smartest, most thoughtful people on the issues that really matter. Join us today as a paid subscriber.